all of us want to stop the killing of our children and your children.
We are crying for the world to act now before it will be too late.
In a new, powerful documentary, Israeli and Palestinian activists who have lost loved ones in the Israel-Hamas War are now embracing each other in an effort to push for peace. The path forward explores a way toward healing, mutual respect, and coexistence. Julie Cohen is a Jewish-American filmmaker, and Mo Husseini is a Palestinian writer and filmmaker, and they created this documentary together. Thank you both so much for being here. This is really a wonderful project.
Great to be here.
So this documentary explores this tapestry of voices for peace and reconciliation. Tell us how these alternative voices emerged out of the violence. And it's really a refreshing chorus of voices we don't hear from very often.
Absolutely. You know, it's so easy to get the feeling watching the news and looking at social media that all the voices out there are just voices of hate and tribalism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, or combinations of those things. Mo and I went out for voices that kind of were telling a different story. Are there people that are grieving each other's losses? Are there people looking for reconciliation and a path forward? And what we were thrilled to find is actually there are a lot of those voices, including from people who have lost the greatest things in this conflict, their own family members.
Yeah, I mean, that is something they can both, unfortunately, bond over. So your film contains no images of war, no images of death, no campus protests. Why was that important in order to drive home the story?
Yeah, I think the goal for us is really how do we get people thinking about things in ways that are compassionate and focused on empathy. That kind of imagery, that kind of storytelling doesn't do anything to de-escalate. It's important. It's important to acknowledge that all that stuff is going on, but it's also important to acknowledge that there are people out there who are trying to find a way through this by talking to each other and recognizing their essential humanity.
A woman in your film says, we've lost our compass of humanity and we need to bring that back. That kind of echoes what you just said. And there is so much hostile rhetoric on both sides. How can people have a more open and positive dialogue with one another?
I think one of the things that we're trying to do is look and listen and amplify voices that are trying for a path forward, like two of the people you've just seen in the film, Maoz and Inon. He lost both his parents in the Hamas attacks on October 7th. Shortly thereafter, within a day, Aziz Abu Sarah, a Palestinian man, reached out to him to say, I'm so sorry for your horrible loss. Aziz himself had suffered greatly. His own brother was beaten when he was in an Israeli prison and later died from those injuries. And yet these two guys formed a friendship out of their mutual pain and started saying, like, let's go around the world talking to people about how we can see this conflict in a whole different way. Maybe the governments can't, but the human beings can.
And this is such an emotional issue. It's fraught with so much history and controversy, and it's a complex issue. How do you find hope and inspiration for projects like this?
I think, yes, it is a complex issue, but there's also a simplicity at the heart of it. And that simplicity is that there are people at the bottom of this conflict, people who are suffering every day and people fundamentally who are trying to find a way through. So yes, there's complexity and yes, there are important things that need to be figured out and looked at, but there's also a lot of really simple, basic stuff that people need to be focusing on, understanding that suffering exists on both sides. It's not about the scale, it's about ending it. It's about elevating the voices that are focused on moving it forward. At least it was for us. And there's a lot of them.
Well, Mo and Julie, you two are such an inspiring example, and I can't wait to watch this film. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning. And for more information on the documentary and how you can watch it, check out our website, kcalnews.com, and click Seen on TV.